Recently during our calls, we've been getting a lot of questions on what's the difference between Facebook ads and Google ads for painters specifically. People want to know ultimately which one's going to book more jobs and which one are you going to get, the best result for your ad spend. So I'm going to break everything down for you from start to finish in this video. That way you can make the best decision for your company. But before we hop in, I just want to show you everything I'm going to talk about. This isn't something that, we're just coming up with. We do this for painters every single day, and I'm going to refresh this for you so you can see. But here on Facebook, the past few months, we've done 151,000 in ad spend with 5.3 million total views on the ads. We've got an average cost per lead of $28 and 5,304 leads generated in total. So everything I'm going over, this isn't guesswork. This is based on experience. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Okay, so jumping straight into this, for the rest of the video to make sense, I just want to explain one thing here on this diagram. So this is called the buyer's journey, and it's basically how any of your customers are going to go from being aware that your service exists or being aware that you exist as a company all the way down to making a purchase with you. And it basically goes awareness. They get interest in getting the service done. They desire it. So they go out, search for the company they want to work with, and then take action. That is the buyer's journey. And the biggest difference between Facebook and Google is just where we're actually targeting these buyers during that buyer's journey. So Facebook ads, they're going to be top of the funnel ads, which is where we're targeting people. I'll scroll back up, where we're targeting people in the awareness or the interest phase. So they either have awareness that you exist as a company now because of the Facebook ad, or they now have a level of interest in working with you and they want to learn more. So with Facebook ads, we're reaching people who aren't actively searching for your services yet, but Facebook ads are great for building brand awareness and creating demand for your services because you're actually going to show up in their Facebook feed versus them having to search for you on Google itself. Facebook ads, they're also more cost effective to reach more people, and there's brand awareness and there's leads when it comes to marketing. Facebook's great for both. You can generate brand awareness just like a TV commercial or a billboard, plus you're going to generate leads at the exact same time. Now when it comes to Google, with Google we're targeting people down at the bottom, people that already have a desire to get their house painted. All they need to do is just pick out which painting service, do I want to choose, which one looks like the most trustworthy, which one looks like the best company to actually work with. So we're just going to capture the existing demand of homeowners who already want to pay for painting services right now. And typically with Google ads, they're going to be a higher cost per click or a higher cost in general because the customer is closer to making a purchase, and Google knows this. So Google ads, they work mainly for leads. They're not as much a branding advertisement because you're just putting text on the screen. For a customer who's making a search, they're going to click on your website. If they find what they're looking for, they might potentially go with you. If not, they're going to keep searching. So not as much on the branding side of things. And the best way you can think of it is Facebook is just like going out and knocking on doors, where you can go out, you can knock as many doors as you want. It doesn't mean that every single person's door that you knock on is going to be interested in your service, but you can definitely still generate some leads and make some sales or, get some jobs. Whereas Google, you're answering the door for someone who's coming to you. They say, hey, John, I want your painting services. They knock on your door, come to you, you're going to answer, and you just have to explain why you're the best painting service or company to go with. So Facebook gets shown to your entire market, whereas Google just catches the 1% who are ready to buy right now. Really, the best companies use both, but I want to go over the cost and the pricing structure because there are some differences here. The biggest difference is Facebook is going to charge you to show your ad to homeowners. So you're paying for views, not clicks. It typically costs less per lead because the people, they have less intent initially, but with strong targeting, and if you know how to make a good ad or a good ad creative, you can get cheaper cost per leads. Now, with the reach itself, $100 on Facebook will get your ad shown to somewhere between 3,000 to 5,000 homeowners. So all these people are going to see your ad. It's great for brand awareness and lead generation if it's done right. Whereas Google, they're just going to charge you per click. So 10,000 people could see your ad. It doesn't matter how many people see it. They only charge you when you get a click. And each click is more expensive than what it would cost on Facebook, somewhere between the $8 to $30 range, just depending on the market that you're in and the service that you're advertising. But the cost per lead is going to be higher as well. And again, that's just because the customer is closer to making a purchase. So Google typically will charge more. With Facebook, if you have the systems in place, you can turn those people into sales if you know what you're doing. But Facebook typically is just cheaper overall. And like I said, Facebook's cheaper. It's typically more scalable. You get the branding aspect aspect, the brand awareness, your billboard, TV commercial, as well as getting the leads. Whereas Google, it's more expensive. They're just charging you per click. They're not charging you to show your ad to a homeowner, but you get direct traffic. You get people who want your service right now. So you can either create demand or you can capture it. Cost money, just in different ways. Facebook ads, they are the more cost-effective option for maximum reach if you know what you're doing. It just depends on if, again, you have the formula, you know what to do on Facebook, or if you want instant traffic of people who want your painting service. And then going into the actual audience and how many people you're going to be reaching. So Google ads, they're limited by the search volume that you have locally. So Google ads, they only reach people who are actively typing in the keyword, painters near me, interior painting services near me. That's the only people you're going to reach. And that does mean that you're capped by how many people are actually searching each month. For example, if 300 people in your area are searching for painting services near me, that's the max reach. And you're competing with every other painting company for those exact same searches. So you are limited by search volume. Whereas with Facebook ads, it's just population-based reach. So you can reach anyone in your service area. The main thing you're changing here is just the actual cities or areas that you're showing your ad to. You can choose a larger or smaller radius depending on how far you want to go out and actually complete the work. And there's something called CPM on Facebook, which is just the cost per 1,000 views. Again, like I said earlier, roughly $100 will get your ads shown to 3,000 to 5,000 homeowners. So you can reach a lot more people on Facebook versus Google. Now, to summarize everything, with the reach itself, Google reaches the few people who are actually looking for a painting service right now, but you're capped by how many people are actively searching for that every single month. Whereas Facebook, you're going to reach, everyone in your service area or everyone in your city. It just, not every single person who sees your ad is going to turn into a lead, but you do get the brand awareness side of things as well. So with Google, it's more like fishing in a pond, whereas with Facebook, it's like casting a net in the ocean. Both can be great. You can catch fish either way. It's just, do you know where to go in the ocean to actually catch the fish? Then this is going to be a huge determining factor on which one you go with. It's the complexity in the setup of both ad platforms. Now, the platforms are different. The way that you build ads are different because the ads themselves are different. Facebook ads, there's a lot more variables. There's more room to either mess up or win. Now, on Facebook, there's a few different options that you have to, choose, or things that you can mess around with to make your ad. It's going to be the targeting, which is who sees the ad, what location are you showing it to, what's the age range of the homeowners, what's their interest, or is there income that you want to target. That is the targeting itself. Who are we showing the ad to? Then the creative is the image or the video. Now, this is extremely important because this is what stops people from scrolling. This is how you get them to actually read your ad. Text, which is there to persuade the customer to want to do business with you. And then a call to action is basically just what you're telling the customer to do. Do you want them to submit their information to receive a quote? Do you want them to message you? Do you want them to call you? That's the call to action. And then the offer itself, whenever you're making the ad, everything that you're building is the offer. So everything you're building, the ad around the creative, text, who you're showing it to, that is the offer. Now, if you have a really strong offer, you can get a lot of leads for, a very cheap price. You can get a lot of business, but if the offer is done wrong, you can pay thousands of dollars and get zero leads in return. So the truth is 99% of painters who run Facebook ads, they do it wrong. But when Facebook ads are done correctly, they are the most profitable ad source that you could go with. Most painters waste money because they guess instead of testing. It takes a lot of testing, like I showed you in the beginning of this video, to figure out what works. You can spend thousands of dollars and months of time figuring out what works best, especially in your local market. But Facebook ads, they do work. You just have to know how to do them right. With Google ads, there's a much simpler setup. But the thing is, with Google ads, there's a lot more competition because there's so few searches and everyone's going after those same searches. So with Google ads, the setup is basically you're going to choose the keywords that you want. Which services are you going to advertise for? Which searches do you want to pop up for? And then you're going to write the headline in the description, which you can have AI do for you. Whenever you're in the Google ads platform, it'll auto-generate some headlines and text for you. And then you're just going to set your bid strategy and choose how much you want to spend per day. Now, Google works fast, but again, like I said, you're competing with every other painter in town. So it's going to drive the cost up. And with Google, they're typically easier to start. The only thing you have to know how to do is just have a unique, way to stand out. What's different about you versus the other painting companies? So when they're reading through these headlines, you can stand out as the best option and get the lead. So to summarize everything here, Facebook has a high learning curve, but you can scale these, Facebook ads massively. If done right, you can get a lot of leads for, again, a very cheap price. With Google ads, the setup is a little bit more expensive, or is simple, but typically the clicks are more expensive. It's faster overall, but you are capped by how many searches there are, so you can only grow as fast as how many people are searching. So mastering Facebook ads, it gives you leverage that most painters never have, but again, you just have to know what you're doing. So the final takeaway here is just both Facebook and Google ads will work, but they're built for different things. Facebook ads are good for volume, brand awareness, and long-term growth. The leads are going to be cheaper overall. There's a broader reach. You can reach tens of thousands of homeowners every single month and actually build trust with your market as well through the brand awareness. But if you don't know what you're doing, it is very easy to waste money. There's more variables in the actual ad setup itself, so there's more room for error. But again, so few people actually figure it out that once you figure it out, you have a formula that works much better than everyone else. You can capture all the business off of Facebook. And Google ads, they're a little bit more simple to start out with. All you're going to do is you show up when someone's already searching. You're paying per click. The actual search intent, the buyer's intent is higher. They're closer to making a purchase. That does mean that the cost per lead and cost per click typically is more expensive. But if you need some quick wins or you're brand new to advertising, Google ads can be a great way to get some leads coming in. Neither one really is right or wrong. But if you're experienced or working with someone who knows what works, I do recommend Facebook ads personally. That's what we use. We do both Google and Facebook ads, but we get people the highest return on their investment with Facebook ads because the lead cost is cheaper. They get more lead volume, and overall, they get more branding, so they stand out as the best choice in their community. But if you're starting out solo, you can start with Google ads. It's a little bit more simple. It's easier to get traction that way, but in the end, best painting businesses, they eventually use both. And like I said, neither one's right or wrong. You can make the decision on what's best for your company based on everything I've told you. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help you out, and I wish you the best of luck with painting this month. I hope you crush it.